Now, I'm not a gamer. I think the last game I played through was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, but I am an ally of the gamer community. That's why I was interested in the new game, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It follows Peter Parker and Miles Morales, or from here on, White Spider-Man and Black Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 takes these two on some wild adventures. For instance, here's Black Spider-Man helping out a citizen.
Can you explain a little slower? What happened?
Okay. I want to ask someone to homecoming, but he's special.
And a fellow superhero.
My girlfriend's in Paris, and I got her into trouble with some bad people.
Black Spider-Man also becomes a DJ.
Let's go!
And gets some helpful brochures.
New reproductive technologies are on the horizon. Check it out in this brochure.
I forgot to mention this is the debut release from Margaret Sanger Games. But it's not quite right to call him Black Spider-Man because according to the comics, he's biracial, inspired by President Barack Obama, which explains the issue where Miles drops 12,000 bombs in Syria. But unlike Obama, Miles is half black and half Puerto Rican. I'm told his Puerto Rican heritage plays a big part in the comics, but the game developers put a Cuban flag in his room. Maybe it was an accident, and maybe Spider-Man was actually inspired by multiracial hero George Santos. He's from everywhere. A previous game had a big tribute to BLM, and in this game you get to play as Miles's deaf girlfriend, who is a graffiti artist. The whole mission is muted, so you can really feel what it's like to be deaf. Wow, I really have taken my sense of hearing for granted, along with my sense of private property. But what is White Spider-Man up to all this time? Well, among other things, he's playing carnival games.
Nice!
The game also confronts White Spider-Man with a moral dilemma, and it involves climate change. But that part's too juicy, let's save it for the end. Maybe I'm being too hard on this game. I mean, this guy liked it.
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. It gives me goosebumps every time he does it, especially as the music begins to swell.
But even with all this diversity and inclusion, there are a few reasons for believing that they don't really care about any of it. I already mentioned the Cuban flag mishap, but another reason to think that they don't care is that the company removed all the gay stuff from the Middle Eastern release. LGBT flags were removed, and the gay matchmaking scene is now played as platonic, which goes to show that we only get this stuff in games because we put up with it. That also applies to this downgrade. Speaking of foreign releases, in the Spanish language version, Spanish has been modified to be less gendered. For example, changing the word doctor from doctoro to doctore. Doctore is of course not a Spanish word. It's as Hispanic as a bacon waffle taco. I long for the days when cultural imperialism was less gay. Of course, the Gamergate folks have been all over this release, and that means we get response articles like, if Spider-Man 2's inclusive language bothers you, find another hobby. Video games are not for you. Take that, language teachers. One last thing. What about White Spider-Man's climate change dilemma? Well, early in the game, Peter Parker is offered an opportunity to fight climate change and end world hunger. Yes, really.
With the population growing and the climate changing unpredictably, we need to adapt more quickly than nature normally would.
He'd love to go help fight climate change, but he can't. He's got to be White Spider-Man.
This is all so amazing. It's perfect, really. It's just... things are really hectic right now.
In the end, he makes his choice and decides to retire and let Black Spider-Man take the reins.
I got this. All of it. Go be Peter Parker for a while.
Black Spider-Man slings away, and Peter Parker starts on his journey to save the planet. I, for one, look forward to the next Spider-Man game where Peter Parker buys a reusable water bottle, double-checks his recycling, leads a workshop on urban gardening, and makes a delicious dinner. You may think of all kinds of names for this new Spider-Man, but I say...
He's special.